Hi, welcome to the show. We have an excellent guest today as he takes us through his journey as an immigrant to an assisted living facility super operator here in the US. Also, join us as he talks about knowing your why and why that's important and how it will prevent you from ever burning out. Stay tuned. Hi, welcome to Assisted Living Rookie. My name is Carl Cuesta. Can you introduce yourself?
Hey, my name is Bhuvanandra Kumar, but I go by Kumar. I live in Michigan, and I'm glad to be on your show. Yeah. Can you
Thank you
tell
so
me
much.
more about your show and what you're doing there?
Yeah, so my goal has always been to get into assisted living facilities, but it's hard to get the right information. A lot of the information you always have to pay for. So my goal with this show is to educate rookies like myself to start thinking about assisted living facilities. My background is a nurse practitioner. I've been doing it for almost 10 years, but I wanted a way to merge my love of real estate and use my medical background as well to kind of better help. uh, it's kind of interesting. I really didn't think about it until I would say almost a year ago. And my parents were telling me, like, hey, we're going to go back home and retire there. So that was like, for me, I got kind of like emotional, I guess. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't been there in over 11 years. Since my family is all here, like I have really very little reason to go back there. So if I go there, it's only gonna be I'll see them like what 5 more times. If I go, every 2 or 3 years, so that's not enough time for me. Like my whole life,
I
my parents
hear
have
you.
been like 5 minutes from my house. So it's
I hear you.
yeah, it's one
Yeah.
of those things. But I also know, and because of my work, that my gosh, I've seen assisted living facilities around Houston, and they they, they leave a lot to they need some work. They need some
Improvement. Improvement. Yeah,
they
put
need
it
some
that.
improvement. Yeah. So I definitely wanted an assisted living facility first now so I could set up for them later on and I can actually like put everything I want about an assisted living facility and also mix what they want in a home and they can just
Mhm.
stay there and they can just stay close and maybe it's selfish, maybe it's I don't know, future planning, but I wanted to take charge
Hey,
of that myself.
it all
Yeah, that's
starts with a dream, right?
yeah, definitely.
Know your whys. Know your whys. Yes.
Exactly. So that's a big
Hmm.
thing. Family has always been a really big thing for me. So I mean, it's you can have wealth is great. Wealth is great, but health is very important. My background and family is very important. So I gotta have everything.
I
I
get
gotta
it.
have health and family and maybe some wealth too, right?
Yes. It'll automatically come. Yes. Yeah. Once you
Yeah.
take care of the basics. Yes. Yeah.
But
So.
you've been how did uh did I hear you had 9 assisted living facilities?
Yes, at one point we had 9 facilities. We are in the process of selling our I think the fourth one.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been shifting gears now, moving to the consulting space. So that's where I'm like, okay, when you call me, I said, oh, this might be a good opportunity for me to move to the next level. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You
So
mentioned briefly when we talked how you got started. Like, how did you get started with your very first one? Like, what was your thinking behind that one? And like, who did you reach out to back then?
yeah, I'm an accountant basically. Grew up in India, lived in the Middle East. I worked for the big four accounting firms for a short while. And then we came to the US somewhere in the 90s. Yeah, 95, 96, I would say. It's been more than 30 years since we came to the US.
Wow.
So my wife is a physical therapist now,
Mhm.
and that she's been the driver. Yeah, she kind of, she took a job in the Middle East. I followed her. She took a job in the US. I just followed her. And I'm like, US, pick a place anywhere. I'm there. No, land of the dreams, right?
Exactly.
So I wanted to come here, start my own business. And that's exactly what I did. Yeah, 30 years back.
Wow.
So when we started, yeah, I've been in several businesses. I was just analyzing just to get ready for this call and figure out, okay, what have I been doing? How did I get into this business? And now, you got to do your a little homework, right?
Mm.
So when I searched back, I I had bought or had deals done, almost 24 deals,
Wow.
especially in businesses. Yeah, for the past 25 years. So I'm like, oh, and one of the main things was real estate. Everywhere it was real estate. So I thought, oh, this is probably my field of favor. No, and 10 years back, I kind of started my real estate business. And one of the main things which attracted me was, as I told you, my wife is a physical therapist,
Hmm.
and she was working in an assisted living facility in the rehab clinic. And you guys know what happens in a rehab clinic, right?
It's
So they
tough.
have this beautiful place.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. She was in the rehab clinic. She was working on a W-2 basically, and I had my own contracting company where I was providing therapists. So I kind of knew the field, the home care industry, and the nursing homes, all those areas. But I always had this, man, these buildings are beautiful assisted livings. And I always wanted to own one of those big, huge buildings. And I had no means, everybody starts somewhere, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
so when I became a real estate agent, I always started looking at what are the businesses for sale in the MLS. I think that's the first basic place everybody can look at. Now,
Mhm.
what's available? Now, if you're a business owner, right? Obviously, that is the best place to start. Now, and I happen to see an assisted living for sale,
Wow.
and it's been in the market. Yeah, it's been in the market for more than 6 months, 8 months. They reduced the price a couple of times, right? And I was like intrigued. I was like, we need to go take a look. And I was like, where do I have the money to invest? No idea. So we took up lunch. We started the whole process. It took us 6 months to close on that property. No, it was originally listed for 1.3 million. We bought it for 850,000.
Wow.
So, so that was like probably what 8 or 9 years back. Yes. So that's where we started. Yeah, of course. No, and ever since, no, we took some learning curve. No, for a initial year was our learning, and then from then I was like I was beaten by this bug to buy the next one, buy the next one, buy the next one. So now it's like I want to help enough people get into this business because I know the potential. I want to help them, guide them, lead them, as to
Yeah.
what is the right thing to do and how do you do it. Yeah, yeah, in the right way.
Back then, I don't know if I'm just mixing it up, but was it you? Did you have a partner? Or was it just you and your wife that wanted to do this single facility together, the 851?
No, my wife always was an employee. She was our breadwinner, solid. No, she was the one who was behind. No, like the rock. No, she always was providing, had a W-2 paycheck coming in every
Yeah,
month, and
the
I was the
banks love it.
business guy who was yes, and I was the business guy. And so when we found this deal, I put together four partners,
Okay.
and four of us, we brought in uh, almost 20%
Hmm.
down payment. Yeah, so we bought it equally, we shared equally 25% each, and that's how we started our first property.
That's amazing.
So
That's amazing. And then it was on the
yeah, but
MLS.
then we made sure we were only two of us who was active in the business. It was me who was doing all the business angle, business side, marketing, tours, all those stuff. And I had the other partner who happens to be a physical therapist also, one of our close friends, and he was doing the clinical aspects. No,
Hmm.
he took care of the families, the residents, the clinicals, the mundane day-to-day books, and no, a whole bunch of
Yeah,
paperwork. Yes.
for sure. That's good. So it was already an established assisted living facility, right?
Yes.
See,
Yeah. The
that's
facility
the
was
best thing.
running for almost 20 years. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And that is what I see now. What I see is for entrepreneurs who want to look at assisted livings, look at existing assisted livings, because I heard somewhere that the baby boomers are going to retire. Obviously, no, they want to sell their businesses.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for people who are in the business area mindset to look at other businesses with the seniors now retiring and moving on in their lives. No, there's going to be a lot more opportunities. And I remember, like, out of the 9, I remember at least 5 of them were owned by previous no owners, seniors who were
Wow.
retiring, and we were able to sit down, have a good conversation, explain them, telling them that we are going to take care of their baby. Now we're going to continue the operations now, and we're going to take care of them too, right? Obviously, when they do a seller financing, no, they understand, hey man, this is retirement income for them. So
Mm-hmm.
that worked out win-win for both of us. Yes.
That's amazing. Like in terms of your portfolio, like where are you now? Like like how many facilities, how many I guess doors, or how many like units, how many rooms do you have right now?
Yeah, we currently own 6 facilities, as I told you,
Mm-hmm.
and I own it in 2 groups. I have 2 sets of partners. Uh, we don't have a whole bunch of partners. We are very picky when it comes to operating partners.
Mm-hmm.
So we have operating partners, and of course we have investors. And me, now I take care of most of the business aspect, the accounting, the taxes, all those stuff. Yeah. So, so what was your question?
I guess that's I guess what does your portfolio look like now? Like of those 6 facilities, like how many beds are in one facility? Like just like a quick breakdown. So
Right.
I can remember.
Yeah, right from the day one, we decided we are not going to look at less than 12 beds.
Less than not less than
So
this.
looking
Okay.
at the numbers, looking at the feasibility, we figured no, 12 beds and below is not going to be feasible. And because we wanted to do a better care and a better standard, at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, our price is going to be a little on the higher side. So we had to draw a balance there. So most of our facility are 12 beds, 12 to 20 beds. So I think out of the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them are 20 beds. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Only 1 or 2 is less than 20 beds.
That's a pretty quick,
And 20,
that's a quick
20
growth.
is an ideal number. Yeah, 20 is an ideal number to work with. And I've seen a lot of facilities where they have 20 or they have 220s together.
Mm-hmm.
Now that works out perfect when you have 220s together in one building. Operations wise, economics wise, financial feasibility wise, it works out really good. Yeah. Yeah.
Really nice. Like, yeah, I know that you have these 6 facilities, but how like how often did you buy a facility? Was it when it was like an opportunity that arrived and you were like, okay, I have this, let me purchase this facility, or was it like, it was people came to
I,
you? Like, how did you come upon these deals?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure we talked briefly about that one. You
Mhm.
remember Bigger Pockets, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So when Bigger Pockets launched, I was like, no, almost on a repeat. No, it was like I was listening to every podcast, for
Hmm.
almost 2 or 3 years. And one of the main things which caught my attention was, look at deals, analyze, 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 right? So I was like, any opportunity I get, if somebody says, hey, I got a project here, I got an assisted living for sale, I'm like, ready, get me the numbers. No, look, I'll do my homework, I'll go look at the property, and do my due diligence, basically, before
Hmm.
even making an offer. So I think that is what sets you up when you have the opportunity first. I've spoken to a lot of people. Everybody thinks, oh, where is the money? I don't have money. No, I don't have my LLC set up. or I don't have my partners, whatever, right? But if you have the deal, I think the people will show up. The
Excellent.
money will also show up. Yeah. So
Last
I've seen that over and over again. Yeah. Currently, we are looking at a deal, $3 million, a 20-bed facility, plus a 16 apartment complex for seniors just across our assisted living. So both come together, and they've been quoting 3 million, and we are stalling. We are like doing our due diligence, because we see that it needs a lot of work, and we don't want to offer whatever they're asking. Even though we have done 2 deals with that company, we know them very well, and we want to work with them, and they're an awesome company to work with. So we've been like, okay, let's do our homework, let's figure out, let's get in at the right time. Yeah.
In terms of like analyzing the deals, do you have like a team, or is it just you like managing a group of people? Like, who does most of the analyzing?
Being the accountant, yeah. Being the accountant, I do the analysis. I do the I sit down with my partners, of course. When we go there, we make sure we all 2 of us or 3 of us, we go together, make sure we visit the property, do our due diligence. Yes, without feasibility, I don't think we've ever looked at a property. Yeah. So I think we look at the numbers, because most of them who are willing to sell, they're willing to give you their previous 2 or 3 years tax returns, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, tax returns is a good place to start with, but it may not have everything unless you have the call and unless you go sit down with them and have the conversation.
It's really good. Okay. Next question is, what is one challenge that you've encountered in your career in assisted living? And then what is one solution to that? Or if there is a solution?
Yeah. The one thing, you remember when we talked about the business aspect and the employee mindset and the business mindset? I think one of the first things I learned when I came to the US, I remember reading Robert Kiyosaki's book. This was even before Bigger Pockets and all those stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, and Robert Kiyosaki in that book explains the mindsets between an employee and a business owner and a self-employed person and an investor, right?
It was like the 4 quadrants, something like 4 quadrant, right?
Quadrant, yeah.
I
He
remember that
always
book.
talks about the 4 quadrants. And then he had another book called Cash Flow Quadrant. I think most people don't mention that book, the Cash Flow Quadrant. That was very insightful in that book. In fact, I think I read another book of his as to how to find money, investors, all that aspect. So he goes into a lot more depth into that one. This was my initial stage. So what I see in today is people don't have the business mindset. So to find, I've every time I speak to the problem, you're talking about the problem, right? I want to work with people who have a mindset to own their own business. And in most cases, you get involved with an employee who wants to be an employee in the long run, but still wants to make his paycheck and then own a business. And we have had those scenarios where we bring them as a partner, and then we figure out, oh my gosh, no, this is not working out, right? So to get that mindset, I think that is probably number one, I would say. And of course, as you said, the passion. You need the passion. Passionate operators. And what we have been doing now of late is we are offering our managers a profit share. They get an equity in the company, depending on how long they've been with us and stuff like that. So that kind of helps us for the long run.
That's excellent. So a profit share with the managers. Wow, that's something.
Yes. Of course, you got to qualify. You got to take the time to understand them. Now, all our managers are been there for 15 years in the same location.
Wow.
So that's kind of an advantage now when you have people there, very sincere, passionate, caring, when they do that, you want to reward them. Yeah.
Mhm.
You want to grow with them.
That's a that's a great solution to a problem for sure. Like I don't know if it's okay to ask, like what does a profit share look like? What is that like percentages wise, or like how is that set up? Like after 1 year, they
With
get like a certain.
No, we haven't done that. The way we have done it is when we find the next deal, we
Mhm.
bring in the previous manager who wants to be a partner as
I
a
understand.
partner here.
Makes
So
sense.
we normally give them the next property. Now we give them like 5% or 10%, depending on what their mindset is, how
Mhm.
they want to work with us in the long run. Yeah. So the deal which we are analyzing now, we had an opportunity to sit down with the existing manager who's been there for more than 12, 13 years. And we offered him the partnership, and he was willing to sign on with almost one third, and bring in the equity also. And we were like, oh
That's
my gosh,
amazing.
this is, yeah. So it's a question of, yeah, structuring your deal, right? Once you have the deal, then figuring out the framework as to how you're going to bring in the money, who's going to bring in the money, and who's going to be responsible in the operations. And assisted living, operating it on a daily basis, we need somebody who can take care, right? So
Exactly.
without that, nothing works, right?
That's that that's a that's such an incredible model, honestly, to bring in someone that is already familiar with the facility, has been there and cares about the place, and bring him as a partner, and then you also like involve yourself. So that's nice. I wonder if how many of these other places are like that. One of the ways we're thinking for our facility is a little similar. We're basically trying to promote from within, and then
Hmm.
maybe in the future, there's another facility that we're looking at maybe like 6 months from now, um, of acquiring, and maybe they can be a piece of that one if they choose to. That's so it's funny how you came to that conclusion as well. Like, oh my gosh, like someone that cares about a place can also be like an owner and a partner. So
Yeah.
that's I love that. I love that. Okay. Um, well, those are my questions.
When you
That's
look at the solutions, you were asking me about solutions. No,
yes.
uh, of course, the employee investment, that is one thing. The
Mhm.
other one is we are working on now seeing if we can raise our funds.
Mhm.
Now, the next step is I want to start my own, probably a real estate fund
Uh-huh.
where we will be able to invest with the assisted living owners. Whoever want to start their own, have a 20-30% stake in the company,
Mhm.
and where we can come in and not only be a consultant, but be also like the funding partners and work with them for the long haul. Yeah.
That's important because I feel like that's two of the main things, like how do you get started? So you need a consultant for that, and then how are you gonna fund it? That's the main
Mm-hmm.
thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
in terms of funding, have you guys just been doing commercial loans, or are you doing like the SBA? Like, what is the latest fund way of to fund that you've used?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Funding again, you got to be creative, especially being in this space in real estate. And there are different ways to fund, right? A deal.
Mm,
So typically, when people think, oh, it's a business, they want to make sure they go to the bank or get the SBA, right? We have done that, right?
mm.
And in the nine deals I've done, I think each one was different. No,
Oh wow.
we have done the SBA deal, we have done the term loans with the banks, and we have done seller financing, and we have used IRA money like equity trust. Are you guys familiar with equity trust? So
Yes.
that's one
Yes.
company. Yeah, that is a company which manages your IRA basically, and it's more like a self uh, there is more detailed paperwork on that
Mhm.
one. But then we went through that process of doing it through them, which was also a lot easier. It was like
Wow.
we were able to close it in a week. When yeah, lot of people for sure that you can invest your IRA money into real estate, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So a lot of people have their IRAs and their 401ks in mutual funds or wherever. All they know is they get a statement at the end of the year or every 3 months
Mhm.
saying that, hey, you made so much, right? But then, or you lost so much. But
Yes.
here in this case, with this company, you can actually manage your money,
You said it was
your
Quest,
401.
right?
No, equity trust.
Equity Trust. Equity Trust. Let's look that
Yeah,
up.
that is one of the companies. I think there are a few like that, and I've used Equity Trust a couple of times now.
Mhm.
So my investors, they have money there sitting in their IRA, and they're able to write me a check whenever I need it.
That's
It was
excellent.
like in a week's time we were able to finance the deal.
Wow.
So
Equity Trust.
yeah, I think being creative in finances is what the opportunity the market needs also, right?
Mhm.
And that's why I always keep saying, no, you find the deal and the money will come.
Exactly.
If the
Exactly.
deal is good enough, right, there'll be a lot of people who will be jumping to finance.
That's with everything. I feel like, it's with residential and commercial. If it's a good deal, man, people are all over it, and they're
Right.
willing to jump through hoops or to find a way to finance these deals. So that's
Correct,
excellent.
correct.
That's
And
excellent.
and you got to be creative in making those deals, and then obviously you'll be the one who's going to get the deal. Yeah,
Mhm.
because yeah, I was today. It's a funny story. I met a lady in church Sunday, and she was telling me she's been working with a realtor for 2 years looking for a home. And with the current market, it's like she had made so many offers, she couldn't find a home. And
Mhm.
I'm like, this is strange. 2
Two
years, made a few
years.
offers. Yes, 2 years is a long time working with one agent, couldn't find a property. And I'm like, no, I was looking at some properties for another client of mine today, and I happened to see this beautiful house, and it is exactly what she's looking for.
Mhm.
And this house has been in the market for more than 130 days in this current market,
Oh my goodness.
right? And I'm like, the more I looked into that house, I'm like, man, she is ideal for this house. So I'm like, sorry to interrupt you. It's okay. You can still use your dealer, realtor. Please
Mhm.
use your realtor. But this is a nice house sitting here, right here for 130 days. It's a question of how well you can negotiate on this property. No, you got to make your move on that, right?
Mhm.
He has reduced the price by $31,000 in the past 130 days,
He's ready.
right?
He's ready to
He's
go.
ready to sell,
Yeah.
right? So are you ready to buy, right?
Mhm.
So I was kind of I texted her the property, the address, location, all those stuff, and I said, hey, this house is in the market for 510,000, and
Mhm.
I bet you can get it for 490. No, so I don't know. It's a question of
Hopefully,
trying it out, right? You
hopefully
got to
they
make
get it.
the move.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
So
I'm familiar with residential, and it's one of those things where you're like, okay, if you've been on the market for like over 60 days, it's time. It's time to consider other offers. It's time to see how, like, what's really wrong. Is it, and I remember Kelly Williams, they always say, like, is it are they not seeing it? So you need a marketing, someone that specializes in marketing, or is it just the property itself? Just there's something wrong with it that needs to be fixed, so then you can sell it. So
mhm,
that's
right.
it just needs
Yeah,
the
I would always
perspective.
recommend, yeah, I recommend my clients, hey, let's figure out what the problem is, and you're going to fix the problem. So ask them for the money for that.
Hmm.
No, get the deal. So, because in today's market, no house is sitting there for more than 20, 25 days. So,
Exactly.
so it's
Exactly.
the opportunity, the way you look at it.
Mm-hmm. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much. How can we best connect or reach you?
Yeah, as I'm available on social media anytime on Facebook. Look up my name, no, my full name, Bhuvanandra Kumar. Facebook and Instagram, DM me. I'll be glad to connect. And I just created a brand new email address just for our audience if somebody wants to
Yes.
reach out. Assistedliving.kumar@gmail.com. Definitely, definitely. Anytime. Yeah. I'm
Awesome.
here to help, and we are actually looking at expanding in Florida at this time.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was just looking at we have a total value of almost 10 million in our portfolio now. And the next property I keep telling, I'm going to look at a 10 million property, $10 million property. Yeah.
It's gonna happen. You're gonna get that
It's going
one.
to happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's
So
what is a person, what is the ideal person that you're looking for? Like I think I kind of have an idea, but like if you can just kind of be specific, like what person are you trying to find to work with you on to find this $10 million to get this $10 million deal?
the ideal person, as I explained, was somebody who's passionate, somebody who has the business mindset,
Mm-hmm.
somebody who has some experience background in real estate and healthcare. you know
Mm-hmm.
I think the healthcare component is ideal, especially when it comes to senior living or assisted living. Yeah, because I don't have the healthcare experience. And
Mm-hmm.
at this point, my wife doesn't want to do the day to day. She doesn't want to work on the day to day. She's ready to retire with our grandkids. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Well, hopefully we can help you find that exact person that you're looking for. That's really good.
You never know. Yeah.
I need to bring you in next time. There's some things that I really want to break down for the next podcast. Like how you analyze, if that's something that we can do maybe in the future. Like how you
Sure.
analyze a
Sure.
deal, like what specific documents you look for. I think that's one of the things because for me, I was kind of spoiled. I have my broker is my business partner, and he's analyzed a handful, like a lot for his assisted living facilities. So,
Okay.
he kind of
Awesome.
walked me through it and reading like
Okay.
taxes and how this number fits in with that number makes it
Mm-hmm.
like a good deal, or like how this number doesn't make sense. So it's stuff like that. So I was like, oh wow, you really need like a numbers guy to figure it out. But I know that's one
Right.
thing I want to
Right.
ask you about in the next one. And then
Sure.
also like
Yeah, definitely. Let me know ahead of time. Let me see if we can get some deals, or maybe look at some old deals which we have done.
mhm,
Maybe we can analyze some of those, however you want to work with. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then like also want to kind of I'm very curious about like the exact like this profit share thing. That's a very to me that's a novel idea. Like that's a very like to kind of think about it and then have someone say like, oh, we've done it and this works. Like that's it's a
Mm,
good
mm.
it's a good feeling. I was like, oh my gosh, so we're on the right track.
Exactly. Yeah, taking care of your people, right? I
Hmm.
think that's one thing I've been trying to practice, trying to learn and understand.
Hmm.
Yeah, God has given you, people to work with, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
people are his main his focus, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so we are here to help them out. Yeah.
That's excellent. Excellent. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you are based in
Houston,
Houston, you
Texas.
said,
Yeah,
right?
Houston, Texas.
Yeah, and Texas is an awesome market. Yeah, I remember seeing some properties in Dallas, and then I came down to a place probably an hour from Houston.
Hmm.
Between Dallas and Houston. Now there was
Okay.
a nice big property for sale. It was 14 beds,
Hmm.
historic property.
Wow.
It was very profitable. Only thing I couldn't find the right operator to work with us and all those stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's tougher with these like these outskirts to find the right people.
Correct, correct. But
So we're
Houston is a awesome market. Yes.
yeah, we're really lucky. Like another to me, the main thing, the really good thing is for me, I feel like I'm really blessed to connect with is, my broker who has experience in assisted living himself. And also our other partner who has home health. He's been a home health operator for like 2, 3 years. So I feel, one of the things is like, oh my gosh, what if we have a staffing issue? So he's like, it's okay, no problem. I'll send one of my people. I'll pay them as they should. We can cover that day until, you know,
He's
until
a realtor too.
no, he's strictly a home health
Home care.
business owner. Yeah. So he's like the
Okay.
owner of the home
Okay.
health company.
Nice.
So I was like, oh man,
Nice.
like
Yeah.
I feel like every assisted living should have someone like that as a partner.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Who takes care of the healthcare aspect of it? No, not only the healthcare, they can take care of the staffing situations.
Exactly.
Home care companies are great that way. Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
we did look at buying a home care agency, but then we said, no, we got to focus on our niche. No, we
Hmm.
don't want to get distracted. And that's where I'm like, okay, let's focus on this one and grow. Yeah, they always say do the one thing, right? So what
That's
is the
right.
one thing you're focused on? Yeah.
Exactly.
So as long as you're focused on the one thing and work towards it, I'm sure everything will work out. Yeah.
That's excellent.
So,
Well, yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I will thank you, Mr. Kumar. That's a really, really great productive interview.